Alright folks, take a look at this. This is what we started with. A backyard that was, well, barely a yard at all. A forgotten patch of dirt and weeds. We had cracked concrete. A fence that was leaning more than a tired cowboy after a long day. And absolutely zero personality. The family living here, the Millers, are wonderful people with 3 energetic kids. They looked out their back window and saw a whole lot of nothing. A space that should have been filled with laughter and play was just a sad, empty lot. A home's potential wasted, a blank canvas begging for color and life. The biggest issue? It was a hazard. That busted-up concrete patio was a trip waiting to happen, a real ankle breaker. The drainage was all wrong, so every time it rained, they got a mini-swamp right by their back door. Forget about playing catch or having a barbecue. You'd be lucky not to lose a shoe in the mud. For the Miller kids, that dream was just that. A dream. This wasn't just an ugly space, it was an unusable space. A daily reminder of what they didn't have. Frustration instead of joy. And that is a problem that needs fixing. So, what's the plan when you've got a space this rough? You might think we'd need a massive budget, one of those big city numbers. But that's not how we roll. So, we walked the site with the Miller family. Joanna had her sketchbook, and I had my tape measure. The problems were staring us right in the face. First, that cracked patio had to go. It was ugly, dangerous, and poorly placed. Second, the layout was a mess. No flow, no defined zones for different activities. And third, the biggest heartbreak, no play space. The Miller kids dreamed of playing outside, but their backyard was a no-go zone. We knew we had to fix that, first and foremost. Our plan was simple, but ambitious. We called it the All-American Backyard. A beautiful functional space for the whole family, plus a dedicated baseball corner for the kids. The plan had 4 main phases. Phase 1, demolition. Old concrete, rickety fence, weeds, a clean slate. Phase 2, structure, multi-level deck, pergola for shade. Phase 3, landscaping, fresh sod, easy care plants, proper drainage. Phase 4, the fun zone, baseball diamond and dugout. Let's talk money. $3,000 budget, sweat equity demo, $200 dumpster, $200 safety gear, $1,500 structure, $700 landscaping, $600 finishing and baseball corner. Every dollar had a job. Safety and permits, checked with the city of Washington. Low-profile deck and open pergola. Okay, call 811. Gloves, glasses, boots, masks. Everyone goes home safe. It's the most important rule. Demo day. My favorite day. There's nothing more satisfying than taking a sledgehammer to something that needs to go. We started with that ugly cracked concrete patio. It was thick, stubborn, and didn't want to leave. We used a combination of sledgehammers and a rented jackhammer to break it into manageable pieces. The Miller kids watched from the window, cheering us on. Hard, dusty work. But hauling those chunks away was progress you could feel. Like the backyard took its first deep breath in years. Next up was the old, leaning fence. An eyesore with zero privacy or security. We went down the line, post by post. Much of it was rotten, easy to take down. We saved decent planks for later. The rest went into the dumpster. With the fence gone, the yard felt twice as big. A huge visual change for the cost of muscle and time. The definition of sweat equity. Years of neglect meant compacted soil and stubborn weeds. We brought in a rototiller to break up the top layer. Crucial for clearing weeds, improving drainage, and prepping for new sod. We tilled the yard, raked out rocks, roots, and debris as we went. It was a workout. By day's end, a true blank canvas. Final step, grading. Subtle work, huge payoff. With the ground cleared, it was time to build. Foundation, the deck, ground level to save cost and avoid permits. Frame on precast deck blocks, saving time and money versus poured footings. Pressure-treated lumber for the frame, measuring twice, cutting once. Square and level equals pro finish. Boards on, frame solid. Affordable pine, laid at 45 for a high-end feel. Nail gun for speed, or screws as an alternative. Board by board, milestone, usable space for a grill and chairs. Move on to the pergola. Post and beam build, 4 parts 4 posts, 2 parts 6 beams. Set in concrete, Checked plumb. Now it's an outdoor room. Shade, lights, and vines to come. Low material cost, high character. Joe and the kids mark a theme baseball play zone. Stakes, string, small infield. Home plate marked. Dugout bench from leftover 2x4s. Rustic wall from salvaged planks, painted in local team colors. The Miller kids on their own little field of dreams. Pure joy. The structures were up, but the yard was still a sea of brown dirt. It was time to bring in the green. First, and most important, fresh sod. A lush lawn instantly transforms a space. We spread a thin layer of nutrient-rich topsoil first. Started along the longest straight edge, the deck. Staggered seams like bricks for a natural look, like rolling out a big green carpet. The yard changes before your eyes. Edges butted tight, no gaps for weeds. Rolled the sod to press roots to soil, ensuring great contact. Final step, a deep, thorough watering, most important for recovery and root growth. A great backyard needs texture and color, simple beds along the new fence line. Hardy, low-maintenance plants for Washington, lavender, hostas, ornamental grasses, come back bigger each year. Fast-growing vines to climb the pergola, thick layer of dark mulch, polished look, retains moisture, suppresses weeds. The green dream became a reality. The yard was alive. The heavy lifting was done. The deck was built, the grass was down, but now the finishing touches bring it to life. We stained the deck and pergola a warm, semi-transparent cedar, protection and beautiful grain. Good lighting, plug-and-play cafe strands across the pergola and fence, affordable magic after dark. Smart finds and DIY benches, a rug and pillows, inviting comfortable spots to land. We set a real home plate, chalked the lines, stocked balls and gloves in the dugout. Seeing that first swing, that's the stuff that matters. All right, the moment we've been waiting for. One last look at the before. And now, look at this. A beautiful, functional, fun-filled family oasis. Deck for grilling and dining, a shaded pergola, lush lawn, and a one-of-a-kind baseball corner. The whole project took 8 minutes. Just kidding, it took 8 days. We set a $3,000 budget and landed at $2,185. DIY labor, reclaimed materials, smart shopping. 3 tips. Start with a clean slate. Define zones. Dining, lounging, playing. Think in layers. Structure, green, lighting.